Lillard trying to rise into Marcus Smart, who knocks it away and makes a Marcus Smart play. Al finds Jaylen. Good night. DPOTY.
How many big-time plays does Smart make late in the game defensively?
And that couldn't come at a better time right there. Celtics get the win, 126-112. It is Celtics postgame live. Tom Giles, Eddie House. It was Dame time in the fourth quarter, and it was starting to get tight there, Eddie House. Marcus comes up with a huge play, and the Celtics, in the end, make the plays that they need to ensure that they get this win and move to 3-1 on the road trip.
Yeah, they did. And big-time play by Marcus Smart right there at the end. Getting a little lackadaisical with the basketball. Dame did it. He was getting real comfortable with it, and Marcus sniffed that out a little bit and seen a little chink in the armor, got that steal, big-time steal right there. But I like the resiliency of the team. When they made the run, when Portland started pushing back, we found a way to still, keep our composure, get stops, get rebounds, and score the basketball and share the basketball. So I really like that part of it at the end of the game, way to close the game out.
Yeah, and able to keep them at arm's length there and, again, pick up a 14-point win on the road. It's never a small thing to get a win on the road, especially against a team that's competing for their playoff lives. Meanwhile, we mentioned Marcus Smart. He's actually standing by with Abby Chin. Let's send it back out to Abby.
Marcus, that was a wild fourth quarter. Take me through what ended up being the game-saving steal.
Oh, man, Dame, we all know what Dame can do, man, especially behind that three-point line. And he's been killing us. He was coming off shooting the ball so darn quick. It was tough for us to really get a contest without fouling. So, whenever we could, we tried to get up in him and make it as tough. And on that last steal, I was just in the right spot at the right time, just close enough, and he tried to rip through to go for the shot, and I got my hands on it.
Did you know that ball was going in when Al let it go?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, gee, that's what he does. I knew as soon as he caught it, the way he caught it and shot it, I already knew it was going in.
How were you guys able to keep your poise and close this one out after Dame time occurred?
We just continued to, execute on the offensive end. They did a good job of, pushing the pace, scoring quickly. For us, it was just constantly execute whatever we had, whatever we did, whatever they gave us, we had to take it.
What do you like best about the way you guys have responded after that loss in Houston?
We ain't look back. We know it's not going to be perfect every night, but we just got to play, and we let that go and just play and have fun. We're a tough team to beat, and I think everybody knows that.
Do you know who the Bus One boys are?
Yeah, I know who the Bus One boys are.
How big were those guys tonight, from Blake Griffin to Sam Hauser to Luke Cornett dunking on Damian Lillard?
They were huge, man. I don't think those guys get enough credit. They sit on the bench and, they cheer us on. They come to practice. They're very professional every day. And then when their number's called, they come out and they do what they do. So, shout out to the Bus One boys.
And then finally, we head to Salt Lake City tonight. Looking forward to seeing Will and Danny. Have you kept in touch with him?
A little bit, not as much, but me and Danny have, a special bond. Whenever we do talk, it's all love there. He drafted me here. He believed in me. So, big ups to Danny.
Marcus, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk about the Bus One boys later in the show, but we got to talk about Marcus Smart, Eddie House, because he got 61 points from Tatum and Brown, but it felt like this was more of the Marcus Smart game you're used to seeing when the Celtics are playing at their best, and I don't think it's a coincidence that you saw really good ball movement out of them as well.
Yeah, and I think that it was a good game. His first game looking like himself, from start to finish offensively. He looked like he was in a much better rhythm offensively than he had been since the All-Star break and since the injury as well. So he just looked like he was finally feeling like himself, his legs underneath him, taking the shots that he was giving. He was super efficient, and then being locked in, guarding a guy like Dame Lillard, knowing that he could go for 40 and he's going to shoot from anywhere, but being locked in at that particular moment when they were making a run and coming up with a very, very key steal to seal the victory for the Celtics. So you can't say enough about what we've seen. We know what Marcus Smart brings to the table. It's just good to see him back on that side where he's feeling like himself, because it was games where he wasn't, but he was making plays, splashing here and there, but great job by him tonight.
I mean, it was like vintage Marcus, too, in the sense that he's all over the floor. He's taking hits. You're worried that, he had the knee-to-knee thing at one point. That was vintage Marcus Smart. But how much easier do you think it makes the game for everyone else when he's playing the way he did tonight, where he's moving the ball, making the right reads, setting guys up?
Well, I think Jayson Tatum says it all the time. They've been playing so long together. Jaylen Brown as well. They've all been playing basketball so long together. They know each other. So it's so much easier because you know guys' tendencies. You know when they cut. You know when they're going to set a screen. You know when where they like to get the ball, the shooting pocket they like to get in, the rhythm where they like to go. So it makes it 100% easier for all the other players. And when Marcus has it going, I think it really starts on the defensive end. When he's locked in defensively, it looks like he's always locked in offensively as well, getting guys going and then knocking down open shots.
All right, let's bring in Scal now back in Portland. And Scal, just ask you, what did you like best about the way the Celtics played tonight?
I think the biggest thing was their assist to field goal ratio. I thought that everybody made the right play today. Everybody made the extra pass. When they didn't make shots in that first half, they never wavered. And that's really what I'm looking for, because I know the Celtics could be a really good team. It's consistency and playing a certain way. That's what makes them special. Today, I thought it was another step towards that. You know, like I get it, man. Damian Lillard it was a show to see the last quarter. Watching him play and read and react and rise up and get downhill was awesome. But as far as what I've saw from the Celtics, very consistent on both ends of the floor.
And as far as, because we just talked quite a bit about Marcus Smart, but seeing him in person tonight, what did you think of his game and how it looked compared to the last few weeks?
I mean, he had a big responsibility with Damian Lillard, but I just liked him offensively. I tried to point out a few times where he would sprint into a screen and bail out, and then all of a sudden the guy would get an angle to the basket. Just make a ton of heads-up plays. And like when, I always believe to win a championship, this team needs to have all hands on deck. And when Marcus is moving the ball like that, I do believe that Tatum and Brown usually play a lot better offensively.
Let me ask you guys this, because the Celtics also tonight had 18 offensive rebounds. Maybe some of that is the product of Portland and their inefficiency on the defensive rebounding end, but they were active on the glass, creating a ton of extra opportunities. Eddie, what did you think of the efforts, especially from the bench guys?
I just thought that tonight, defensively, we were engaged. We had a couple spurts where we were in little defensive lulls where we were giving up easy shots, and that happens throughout the course of the game, and that's understandable. I just thought that we were engaged defensively from the start, and you look at what we did at halftime. We kept them shooting I think 41% from the field. And so when I look at that, that means that defensively, we're all on a string. We're talking, we're communicating, and we're limiting them to one shot, and then we're getting out of there. And then on the offensive end, like I said, defense usually translates to good offense. You feel better about what you're doing offensively when you're playing great defensively. And so I think our defense fed to our offense. It was good basketball to watch, and I like the way that we sustained our composure when Portland made the run and Dame started knocking down threes, and we were still able to pull away and get the win.
Yeah, and for me, it felt like the Celtics could crack Portland off the dribble, so that's going to create offensive rebound opportunities, and I think they took advantage of that. I don't know if that's going to be a standard diet for the Celtics moving forward. Like you gotta understand, when you watch Portland play, like they're really a step behind defensively, and the Celtics didn't shoot the ball well, but played good offense.
Okay. Meanwhile, let's get to the DraftKings Sportsbook results from tonight. You had the Celtics, who were favored by 6.5 pregame. They win this game by 14, so they cover that. The total was 234.5, which didn't look like it was going to get near that number, but you had a very high-scoring fourth quarter, and part of that was Damian Lillard going for 25 points in the fourth quarter alone. Our hypothetical same-game parlay, for the record, at plus 280, that one would have hit for you. So there's a winner for you. Scout, what did you think? I want to talk about Damian Lillard in the fourth quarter, what he was able to do and kind of will the Blazers back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, the surprising thing about it to me is he didn't play that way throughout the whole game. It was strange. And right when I said, listen, he looks like he's a little disengaged, that's when he went off in the fourth quarter. So maybe he's just saving it up. Maybe he's trying to get other people involved. Maybe the path for Portland to win is that. But, man, when he is doing what you saw in the fourth quarter, it is a sight to see. It's like one of the more entertaining players you'll find in the NBA, and it's amazing watching him process and watching him make these decisions when he's getting downhill. The Celtics, who are a very good defensive team with great defensive players, they had to throw a double team at him just to throw him off his rhythm.
All right, so again, if you played that same game parlay at home, it was plus 280, which means if you put down $100, you would have won $280 on the Celtics to cover with the over.